So, welcome to this session on eCal, which is based on the topic tips and tricks to score 90% and above in science subject. So, we would be having this session for an hour. We would like to wind up by 7:30. So, the session will basically talk about do's and don'ts during the exam, before the exam, how to prepare for your board exams. The time is very less, probably by 15th of February. After a month, you will be having your board exam starting. So let us have a quick webinar on what to prepare, how to prepare for your board exam in science subject. So in this webinar, first we will see uh, the blueprint of your science board question paper. After that, we will see what routine you all should follow to have a good preparation, to have a good result in your board exams, how to plan your time, and how to plan your day. We will see what to do when you receive the question paper of science. We will definitely see about individual physics, chemistry, and biology. And at the end of the session, we will have a question answer session. So, this is the blueprint of your question paper. As you can see, there are total 5 sections in your question paper. Section A, B, C, D, E. This should be well known to everyone because you need to plan your attention of the question paper. Generally, it is preferred that you attempt your question paper in sequence. That is section A, B, C, followed by section E. But if you think that you are more comfortable with section D, or if you are more comfortable with section C, you can start with that also. So section A is having 20 MCQs. Section A is having 20 MCQs, out of which 16 will be normal multiple choice question, and the last 4 will be assertion reason question. Each MCQ and each assertion reason question is of 1 mark, so section A is of 20 marks. Section B is a VSQ, means very short question. The word limit, the word limit is very important because many times it happens that we know so much and we want to write everything in 2 marker or even in definition, but that is not a good idea. Just read the question, understand the question, and keep your word limit. For 2 marker question, the preferred word limit, which is also written in your board question paper, is of 30 to 50 words. There will be total 6 questions of 2 marks, which will add to 12 marks. So section B having 6 questions, each of 2 mark, total is 12 mark. Section C, which is short question, which are to be answered in 50 to 80 words. Do not exceed the word limit. Do not go below the word limit as well. Each question is of 3 mark. There would be total 7 questions. Internal choices will be given in this question, in this section C. Section C, the total is of 21 mark. Next is section D, which is a long question, which is of 5 mark. There are total 3 questions, each of 5, so total 15 marks. Here, the word limit should be 80 to 120 words. Do not again go below the word limit. Do not exceed the word limit. And the last question, which is of case study, total 3 questions will be there in each question. Total 3 sub-question will be there. Sub-question A, B, and C. First question, second question are of 1 mark each, and the third question will be of 2 mark, in which internal choice will be given. So the internal choice is available for 2 marker question only. Keep this in your mind. So section E is of 12 mark. So this is how your blueprint is there. You should know which question, which section to attempt first. Okay. So as we always say, it is never too late to start any preparation for any good thing. But remember, your good work, the fruit will always come in packages. The day when you procrastinate, you lose that day's success. So don't go in that phase where you have the procrastination. Many a times we think that I am done for the day, I can do the remaining work tomorrow. I am very much tired and exhausted. That is when you have to try again. That is when you should not give up. That 1 hour extra every day will definitely add up to your success. So, when it comes to routine, you have to follow the sleep pattern. Make a proper timetable. At what time will you wake up? At what time will you sleep? You should have 8 hours sleep minimum. 8 hours sleep is minimum required. When you are planning your day, you have to see what will you study in a day. If you are choosing a science subject, you need to choose which subject you are going to study in science, whether it would be a physics, chemistry, biology, or all three in one day. At regular interval, you need to refresh your mind. It is not advisable to sit for many hours in a closed room, just sit in front of a screen or sit in front of a book. That will definitely not work. You have to get up, you have to go out of your room, you have to refresh your mind at regular intervals. And definitely, the most important thing is avoid the distractions. Your mobile phone, your social media, different gadgets are the distraction. You have to set a specific time during which you will be using these gadgets for interacting with your friends or with your teachers using the social media. But make sure that whenever you are preparing for your exam, there is no distraction around you, especially your gadget, just to make sure that you are away from the social media. Okay, so this is how you can plan your time. So, important of planning your task. Plan beforehand is must. Just when you wake up, you should know that this is what you are going to study. This is what you are going to practice in a day. Preparation of what you study, presentation of what you have already studied is must. And definitely, you have to prioritize your subjects. You have to prioritize your chapters in science. The chapter you find the most difficult should be given the more time. And the chapter which is very easy for you can be done for the last. Time management, hence I say. When you are preparing science subject, it is mandatory that you prepare last 5 years paper. When you prepare the last 5 years paper, you will have the idea of what kind of questions are there in your board paper. When you go through the past year's paper given by CBSE, you will have idea of what kind of question and the type of questions are asked. Many times it happens that you know the answer, but if the question is strict, you may not understand the question. So in order to avoid this, you should refer the past 5 years paper to have insight of variety of questions in which the answer is going to be the same. When you are going through the paper, you will able to know your strength and weakness. After getting know your strength and weakness, you have to prioritize your chapters, as I said. With regular interval, you need to clear your doubts with your teachers, with your peers. It is okay if you talk to your teachers during the exam. It is good that you share your thoughts with your friends as well. Maybe there is something with which they can help you. When you practice the papers, you will able to identify the areas of improvement. You will able to prioritize your chapters. Follow the step-by-step approach. What is that? So when you are preparing a specific chapter, you need to keep your NCERT textbook handy. The entire chapter is given in topics, not in the paragraph. Right. So step-by-step approach means you start with some basic concepts, you understand the theory, you understand the definitions, then you understand the formulas, laws, and then you start with the diagram, then you start with the numericals like that. So that is called step-by-step approach. You cannot just start the chapter with any random topic or with any random formula. Right. You should have the basic idea clear in your mind. Okay. So what to do when we receive the paper? You are familiar with this kind of exams because your school must be taking so many pre-board exams. Right. So every paper comes with a 15-minute reading time. So that is the most important and most crucial time which has to be utilized effectively. So when you receive your paper, you will have 15-minute reading time, or sometimes maybe more than that, around 20-minute reading time. So in this reading time, you have to choose, you have to decide which section you will attempt the first. So generally, as I said, it is preferred to follow the sequence of the question paper. But if you wish to start with section B or C, you are definitely go ahead with that. When you receive the question paper, just see the option question. As I said, there are internal choices given. Choose the one where you are confident enough and you can score more marks. Many a times it happens that both the questions are same and we would like to answer them both, but no. You have to choose only one question with which you are more comfortable. Do not attempt both the question because that may lead to any confusion for the examiner. If in optional question, there are subparts. Option question number 33 comes with two parts, 33A and 33B. When you see such question, do not forget to answer them both. It may happen that in hurry, you may forget to answer any one of these sub questions. So be alert. And the most important thing is keep a check on time. You have to finish your paper in time. Generally, the writing time is of 3 hours, but ensure that you are able to complete your writing part within 2 hours, 40 minutes. So you will have 20-minute time of rechecking the paper. You can go back to the questions which you have left. You can highlight your answer using pencil. Moreover, during the board exam, when you are attempting the paper, ensure that you are using only one pen, one color pen. Do not even change the color of the pen. Do not even change the type of pen. For example, if you are choosing to attempt the paper with ballpoint pen, ensure that you are using the same pen throughout the paper. If you are changing the shade of the paper, you have to take the sign of the examiner. You have to inform the invigilator that you have changed the color of the pen, you have changed the a type of pen, and you are informed me, the invigilator, make sure to take the sign. Okay. Now, as you know, the science is divided in three parts, physics, chemistry, and biology. So let us start with the physics portion. So in physics, you can divide the subject in three parts: theory, numerical, and diagrams. If I talk about theory, first of all, read the chapter from NCERT book thoroughly. There are many definitions in all four chapters of physics: light, human eye, electricity, and magnetic effect. In all four chapters, there are definitions. There are laws as well. Make sure that you are remembering the laws and you are writing the way they are there in the textbook. Do not use your own language, especially in laws, because they are the statements given by someone. Right. So it is not advisable to change the language of the laws. However, in any theory, in any activity, you can definitely use your own language. Next, whenever you are attempting a 3 marker or a 5 marker question, and if you see that it is activity or if any phenomena is to be explained, always explain point wise, no paragraphs at all, because you have to write your answer in such a way that examiner will able to know the keywords. Right. When you write in a paragraph format, the examiner may not be able to find the keywords, and the examiner may understand that the child has not written the keywords, or the examiner may find it difficult to read the whole answer. So it is advisable, always write your answer in points, not in paragraph. This is for 3 marker and a 5 marker question. Next, prepare all the activities from NCERT textbook. There are many activities in physics, especially in human eye and in electricity and in magnetism. All the activities are to be prepared thoroughly from the textbook. Understand the activity. In activity, there are few questions which are not answered in the question. Sorry, these questions are not answered in the textbook itself. You have to understand, you have to apply your logic You have to apply your understanding to find the answers. Next is numerical. Numericals are the most difficult part I generally find the students are facing. So, when it comes to numerical, when you are starting the preparation, maintain a list of all the formulas from all the chapters. Keep the list of formulas handy in a book. Practice the numerical from examples which are there in your NCERT textbook, BBQs, textbook exercise, and the most important is Exemplar. NCERT Exemplar is the publication given by CBSE only. So there are sets of questions which are there in examples, BBQs, textual exercise, and exemplars. And definitely you are going to prepare last 5 years paper. In those last 5 years paper, you will find many simple as well as some tricky numericals. When it comes to numerical, first of all, you have to write the given data. When you write the given data, you will able to understand what is given, what is to be found out, and which formula is to be applied. After writing the given data, you will understand that a particular formula is to be applied. Write that formula. You may think that why to write a formula every time I attempt the numerical? Definitely, when you are practicing at home, you may think that here I do not have to write the formula every time. But when it comes to board exam, in board exam, a specific numerical you will be attempting only for once, not for even twice, right? So in board exam, you have to write each and every point, each and every formula. After writing the formula, you have to put the correct values. Many times it happens that hurriedly we place the wrong values to the wrong formula. So don't do that. Read the question, read and understand, check if any conversion is required or not. For example, in light numerical, in light chapter, you have to see if any conversion is required or not from meter to centimeter, or in electricity chapter, milliampere to ampere, or maybe kilojoule to joule, or maybe commercial unit of energy. You have to see everything. This will be very easy when you have practiced a lot. So definitely written practice of numerical is must. Never go through the numerical when you have the answer. If you have the answer and if you go through the numerical, that will not help. If the solution is given, you will definitely understand the solution. But when it comes to writing part, you may get stuck. So numericals are always to be done having a written practice. When it comes to light chapter, you have to follow the Cartesian sign convention, plus and minus sign. You have to apply this sign for highlighting the image distance, image height, object height, focal length, radius of curvature, etc. So follow the new latest Cartesian sign convention when it comes to light chapter numerical. You have to highlight your answer. Final answer is to be highlighted, make a box or something, underline, that is also fine, along with correct SI unit. When it comes to writing the final answer, again hurriedly, we may forget to mention the SI unit. Do not forget to write the SI unit. Just see what is to be found out. If power is to be found out, you have to write P. Capital P is equal to the answer followed by the correct SI unit, which is watt. So this was all about theory and numerical. Let us see what are the important points which we have to keep in our mind when it comes to drawing the diagram. There are two chapters basically. One is light chapter, human eye world, and the second is electricity and magnetism. So in electricity and magnetism, there are circuit diagrams. When you are drawing any simple circuit diagram or any complicated one, you have to show the direction of the current along with the polarity of the battery, because these are the small things which makes a big difference. When you make a perfect diagram, you get the full marks. When you miss anything, you may end up losing 0.5 marks or maybe more than that. If everything is shown properly, there is no scope of deduction of any mark. When it comes to ray diagrams, again, you have to show the direction of incident ray, the reflected ray, along with the labeling like center of curvature, focus, pole. This is for the case of spherical mirrors. In the case of spherical lenses, you have to show f1, 2f1, and optical center, along with object and image height. Generally, we show the object height with A and B and image height with A dash and B dash. Do not forget to put these labels. There are three questions from Human Eye and Colorful World along with chapter number 9, which is light. Refraction through a glass slab and refraction through a prism. Students may confuse what to draw. So, when it is the question based on refraction, make sure that you are not showing the splitting of white light, because splitting of white light is not refraction, but it is dispersion. So refraction through a glass slab, which is a rectangular glass slab, you know what to show. And when it comes to refraction through a glass prism, that is from the next chapter. Dispersion through the glass prism is of 7 colors. That is the splitting of white light into 7 colors. When you are showing the 7 colors, you have to follow the correct order, which is Vibgyor from bottom to top. So this was all about physics. Next is chemistry. So in chemistry, read the question carefully, including its subparts, if there is any. Whenever the question is based on any reaction, what if reactant A is reacting with B and what is formed? So always support your answer with a chemical equation. Whenever you are writing the chemical equation, make sure that it is balanced. Whatever is there in the question, you have to write accordingly in the chemical equation, along with the correct physical state of reagents, whether it is solid, liquid, aqueous, or maybe gaseous. If there is any gas, like hydrogen gas is formed, you have to show the upward arrow, which shows that the gas is liberating in the atmosphere. Whenever you are doing the rough work in the whole paper, you have to show it to the right margin of your answer book. Again, in chemistry also, there are 3 marker, 5 marker descriptive questions in which you have to answer point wise. Do not follow the pattern of long paragraph, because that is not giving a good impression on the examiner. Whenever you are writing, whenever you are attempting a long question with points, you will be able to write, or you will be able to include all the points. Moreover, you will able to highlight the important keywords as well. When it comes to a paragraph, it is very difficult to highlight the keywords. It is very difficult for the examiner to find the keywords. So whenever you include any keywords in the points, you can highlight that with a pencil. As I said, it is not allowed to use two different colors, shades, pen in your answer sheet. Maintain blue color ballpoint. Even gel pens are not preferred. Do not leave any questions unattempted. This is seen by many teachers that in hurry, the students may forget to answer any question, even if they know, they don't even realize. After the exam, they realize that, oh, I haven't answered this question. It was not there in my paper and etc. So you have to be very calm and composed when you are sitting for the board exam. Read the question, understand and answer it. In chemistry, IUPAC nomenclature is very important, especially in chapter 4, carbon and its compound. So IUPAC nomenclature is must. There are many compounds given in your textbook for practice. You may refer the past 5 years papers for more questions. There are some theories, there are some experimental setup like chlor-alkali process. When it comes to chlor-alkali process, you have to draw the proper labeled diagram. You have to show anode, cathode, battery, what is the electrolyte, what are the products, what are the gases formed at anode, and what are the products and gases formed at cathode. There is a proper setup for esterification in chapter 4. Soap formation and micelle formation. In micelle formation, you have to label the hydrophobic and hydrophilic part. There are many compounds in the chemistry which have a specific colors. So you have to write the colors of the precipitate. When it comes to the formation of precipitate, you have to write the colors. There are salts having water of crystallization, for example, copper sulfate, iron sulfate, etc. They have the specific colors and they are always available in crystalline form. So you should remember their colors. Try writing the definitions and laws as given in the textbook rather than writing in your own words. Because as I said in the physics also, the laws are given by someone and we should not alter the language. Let us see what is there in biology. When we are talking about biology, it's a quite vast subject. Right. There are chapters in biology which have a long descriptive question and answer. You have to write all the answers point wise. So if you see in physics, chemistry, and in biology, this point is common that whenever you are attempting a descriptive question, you have to ensure that the answers are written in the form of points and not in the form of paragraph. There are questions in the biology, for example, if it talks about asexual reproduction, let us say asexual reproduction in Hydra or asexual reproduction in Rhizopus, right? If it's a two-marker question, definitely they will not ask you to draw the diagram, right? But it is your call to choose whether you have to draw the diagram or not. Many times it happens that the examiner or in the answer key received by the teachers include the diagram, which is not mentioned in the question paper. So especially in biology, draw the diagram wherever it is possible just to support your answer. Whenever you are drawing the diagram, ensure that proper labeling is done. There are diagrams like human heart, human brain, human digestive system. I know that such diagrams are very difficult to make, but if you have practiced those diagrams before the exam many a times at your home with pencil, it will be very easy for you to draw them in a very less time in your board exams. So you have to find a way to complete the diagram with simplicity. Labeling is must. Right. The examiner will check for proper labeling. If you do not know how to make the diagram of a gallbladder, that is fine. Just make a proper label of a gallbladder. Whenever the diagram is asked, there is a weightage of drawing plus labeling. So do not forget to label your diagram. Make easy to refer charts. For example, digestive system is there. So when you are making a chart, you will label, you will write all the parts of digestive system, what all parts or what all are secreting the hormones, right? Or maybe the enzymes. Nervous system. Nervous system diagram or the flowchart is very easy to make. Peripheral nervous system, central nervous system, what is there in CNS, what is there in PNS. So when you make the flowchart in your exam, it is very easy for the examiner to identify your intelligence. There are endocrine glands and hormones. So whenever you are making easy to refer charts, it is very helpful for you to memorize the hormones secreted by the glands or the enzymes secreted by the digestive glands. There are different parts of brains and subpart. The brain is divided into three parts and there are subparts in each each three parts. So whenever you are making a chart, it will be very easy for you to memorize. There are plant hormone as well in control and coordination. There are certain points where you will not be able to identify the difference and the similarity. So you have to differentiate between equivalent points. Make sure that you are not writing one point again and again in different language. That will not lead to a big answer, or that will not create a good impression. Weightage of each point is counted. So if it's a two marker question, you should at least write 4 points. 5 points are preferred. In case if any point is wrong, or if any point is repeated, if 5 points are written, it is good for you. Understand the demand of the question. For example, functions, characteristics, locations, etc. For example, if there is a question where it is asked, a diagram is given and a label is given. Let's say, for example, human digestive system, and the labeling is done to the small intestine. And the question is, write the function of the labeled part. We just see the diagram, we just get happy that, oh, I know the answer. It's a small intestine. And the student will just write the small intestine. But that is not what is asked. You have to write the function of the small intestine. So read, understand the demand of the question, whether you have to write the function of the labeled part, whether you have to write the characteristic of the labeled part, or whether you have to write the location of any particular organ. Study the phenomena logically and recall them stepwise. Yes, we are talking about photosynthesis. So there are 3 to 4 stages in the photosynthesis. So all the stages are to be written in specific sequence. Make the list of all the terms which are there in every chapter. By term, I am referring to the definition. In labeling, mention the numbering. When it comes to any big diagram, it is difficult to label all the parts. So there is a easy way to draw and label the diagram. For example, you are drawing the diagram of a human brain. Rather than labeling part with hindbrain, midbrain, cerebrum, cerebellum, medulla oblongata, etc., don't write them. Don't write these words in the diagram. Instead, just write the numbers. Number 1, number 2, number 3, and then below your diagram, you specify the number standing for what. Number 1 is standing for midbrain, number 2 is standing for cerebellum, number 3 is standing for cerebrum, like that. While reasoning out any statement, make a logical inference. Do not just use the childish language, or do not just understand or estimate that the examiner knows the answer. No, we would like to know from you whether you know the answer or not. So, whenever it comes to biology, you have to answer by making a logical inference. Do not miss out on the flow of information. Learn by heart the definition and the statement of laws, which must be written in the bookish language. So the same point was there in physics and in chemistry as well. So whenever you are preparing any definition or any law, you have to ensure that you are using the bookish language. However, in descriptive questions, or however in activities, you can definitely use your own language, but keep one thing in your mind, that you have to be logical, you have to be scientific. You cannot just use any layman language or any layman term. Steps involved in the photosynthesis, as I said, have to be written in a proper steps, in a proper sequence. There is a 10% law. You must be thinking 10% law is the easiest one in last chapter, our environment, but no. 10% law comes with a trick. Whenever the energy flows from one trophic level to another trophic level, there is a 10% shortage at every level. Now, in the question, you have to see whether you are supposed to write the energy which is transmitting from one trophic level to another trophic level, or you have to write the energy which will be available to the specific trophic level. So, you have to read and understand the question. The energy is asked at which level? At the current level, or at the previous level, or maybe the next level. When it comes to the chapter monohybrid and dihybrid cross, which is Mendel's evolution, right? So in monohybrid and in dihybrid cross, you have to see the proper Punnett square, whether it's a 2 by 2 Punnett square or whether it's a 4 by 4 Punnett square. Whenever it is monohybrid cross, mono standing for one parameter, di standing for two parameters. So we have in our textbook only this two: homozygous, heterozygous, phenotypic, genotypic. So these are the keywords. Whenever you are attempting any question from this chapter evolution, you have to include all these keywords. Examiner will be checking for these keywords only. So ensure that whenever you are attempting a question from evolution chapter, you are making a proper diagram, proper flow chart, proper Punnett square, and at the end of the answer, you can highlight what is phenotypic ratio, what is genotypic ratio. And the last topic for biology, refer to the old question papers and marking scheme. If you go to CBSE official website, you will able to download past papers. Not only past papers, but also the marking scheme. When you refer to the marking scheme, you will get to know that CBSE gives in a 3 marker question, the CBSE gives 1 mark, half mark, 1 mark, half mark to every point you write. It is not about getting 3 marks altogether or losing all 3 marks together. No. When you write a specific or when you attempt a specific numerical, there is a specific weightage of writing the given data. There is a specific weightage of writing the formula, then a specific weightage for putting the correct values, and then few marks are given for highlighting the answer. Similarly, in biology also, you have to understand the marking scheme. If there is a diagram along with some theory, and if it's a 3 marker question, you have to understand the diagram is for 2 marks, and that one theory, small theory question or a subjective question is for 1 mark. So, how many labels are required for a 2 marker diagram? How much is to be written for that 1 mark? Right. So understand the language which is used in the marking scheme and the expected answers. So that was it from my side in physics, chemistry, and biology. I would like to know from you if you have anything to ask, if anyone is having any questions, anything from your side. So we have one more student with us. She was topper of the board exam, and we would like to hear something from her. Just give me a moment. I would invite her to our meeting. Okay. So we have Drishti Ranjan with us. Uh, She was from Delhi Public School, Bhopal, Ahmedabad, when she cleared her class 10 examination with 99.2 percentage. That is definitely incredible. So I would like to invite Drishti Ranjan on the stage to share her experience, the way she prepared for the board exams of science subject, and the way she got this wonderful result. Over to you, Drishti.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much. So, to all of you present here, for the board exams, the first thing which you should keep in mind is to never stress out. You should always prepare your syllabus, especially science, which consists of three subjects: physics, chemistry, and biology. You should be well prepared with each and every part of it. For boards, you should always prioritize NCRT, and when I'm saying NCRT, it means each and every corner of the book, because questions may be asked from the experiments given at the end of the chapter after the exercises as well. You should be thorough with each and every diagram, its labelings, and all the concepts should be completely clear in your mind. And once you've cleared all these things, it's very important for you to note that no matter how much knowledge you have, it won't be worth it if you aren't able to present your answers well in the paper. So these are the two important points which you should keep in mind. And the last thing which I would like to share with you guys is from my own personal experience. There are chances that when you read the question paper while giving the final board exam, there are chances that you may see questions to which you won't be sure about the answers. So just don't panic when you read those questions. Leave the question, leave some space, and move on. When you're done writing the complete paper, then focus on those questions. Because if you get panicked during, during the reading time itself, you'll end up messing the entire paper itself. That's one important point which I'd like to share with all of you.
Drishti, there is one question which I wanted to ask. Like, can you share the importance of written practice? For example, in physics, there are numericals, in biology and chemistry, there are diagrams. So, like, how were you preparing the numericals in physics?
Okay, in physics, I used to practice each and every question given in NCRT as well as exemplar and the assignments given by the school, because there are so many varieties in numericals, and once you've practiced all of them, there are very less chances of you not getting the correct answer in the final exam. The more you practice, the better. Definitely.
And did you refer any past years paper given by board, and were was it very useful to you?
Yes, I did refer to the PYQs for all three subjects: physics, chemistry, and bio. And I did notice that some questions were repeated as well from the PYQs. So it does help.
So all of you should note that whenever you are referring to past year's papers, PYQs, that means past year question papers, you will get to know that few questions are repeatedly asked by the board. Maybe they change the language of the question, but the answer would remain the same. So those questions are important, and there are chances that out of those all questions, there are chances that few of them you will see in your board exam as well. So definitely you will have to refer to PYQs as suggested by the topper of DPS Bhopal. Yes, Drishti, anything else you would like to share? Do's and don'ts, like you have shared your experience of how you prepared. Is there anything else which you would like to share with them that they should not do during the exam, before the exam?
Okay, yeah. Something which you should not do is, to get
Yes.
panicked when you read the question paper. That's the first thing which I'd advise to everyone. Second thing, on the day of the exam, once you reach the center, do not go for revising the complete book, because no matter how much you've studied, you'll always feel underprepared. When once you reach the center, you can just go through the diagrams, but don't focus on concepts or the theory given in the textbook. That's one important point which I'd like to share. Just be relaxed when you reach the examination. Always read the question paper very carefully, because board would always want specific answers to the question which is asked. Yeah, these are the two important points which I'd recommend everyone to
Thank you
keep in
so
mind.
very much, Drishti. Is there any participant who would like to interact with the topper? Anyone would like to ask anything to Drishti? Okay, thank you so very much, Drishti, and all of you for participating in this webinar. I hope this will definitely help you to score 90% and above in your science subject. My best wishes to everyone. Have a good day. All the best for the exam. Thank you so very much, everyone. Thank you, Drishti. Bye bye.
Thank you. All the best.